So most illnesses, as well as our good health, begin with our gut, which might sound like unbelievable, but it really, really is true. When our gut suffers, then chances are the rest of us is going to suffer in some way. And for all of us, we have different weaknesses that's going to affect us differently. So 85% of all ailments can be improved if we improve our gut health. That just blew my mind when I did research and found that out. So I need to speak briefly about what's called leaky gut syndrome and what that is. And if you go into the event, I have a picture that kind of can help us like visualize what this leaky gut syndrome is. And it starts when we're babies. When our babies are born, they have a semi-permeable lining in their stomach. Okay, we're all born with that. And the perfect food for a baby, of course, we know is breast milk. So this permeable lining, the breast milk can go through that, and there's usually absolutely no problems. And then after 12 to 14 months, that's supposed to close, okay? But let's face it, a lot of babies aren't breastfed, and they also are given a lot of times rice cereal, which is one of the hardest things to digest. So right away, you start out, many babies start out with not a healthy gut. And even if we did start out with that, the things that we eat now, pesticides, toxins, it all affects our gut lining, which is like the size of, I think Sarah Stutzman explained it to me one day, it's like the size, the lining is like thinner, half the size of a hair on our head. It's super, super thin. So but it protects us, because what happens is when that lining is open, undigested food, proteins can pass through our body, and that causes inflammation. And these check engine lights go on that affect, and they come out in our skin. A lot of people have eczema, those types of issues, joint pain, and just a lot of different emotional problems too. So we're going to talk more about inflammation a little bit later. So we want to know, how can we help our gut? If this is how our gut is and it's causing all these problems, how can we help it? So pre and probiotics are crucial. We can get these through food and supplements. So a prebiotic, which is not as familiar as a probiotic, it's food. Prebiotic is food for the probiotic. But I want to talk about probiotics first, because that's what we're most familiar with. So we can get probiotics from certain foods, like fermented foods, like sauerkraut, kimchi. That's becoming more, people are seeing the benefits from eating fermented foods. And yogurts, if it's a good yogurt, can help us. Miso and kefir and kombucha, which Sarah and I, we make kombucha. We love it. I just made a new batch, and I did the watermelon, and it's really, I can't wait to taste that. So because we don't eat a lot of this type of food, especially in this part of the world, we usually need to get our probiotic from a supplement daily, okay? So what we want to do is make sure that we get a good supplement. So now Young Living has Life 9, okay? And this needs to be refrigerated. So it's very important to get a good quality. There's lots of probiotics. Doctors are finally seeing that it's important to use a probiotic, but a lot of them are very inferior. So Life 9, refrigerate this, and it has 17 billion cultures in it and 9 different strains of this good bacteria. And what you want to do is you want to take it at night on an empty stomach, so that those acids aren't churning away, and that it gets into the small intestine, because that's where the magic happens. So while you're sleeping, this 1 or 2 of these tablets can really, really get that good flora, that good bacteria going into your body. So probiotics are the good guys. We want a lot of that in our body. And if we've been using antibiotics, different medicines, that really can destroy our gut flora, and we even need more probiotics. So adding this good bacteria in just helps those good guys grow. So now the prebiotic.
Sorry, Denise, I'm going to interrupt you for a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
So important things that Denise just said. Not all probiotics are equal. You want one that is live. And I'm going to talk to you about this real quick because I've had more than one person mention this to me. So I'm just going to be real with you because I'm always real with you. Sometimes too real, but here we go. I had a couple women in the past month say, oh no, I'm good when it comes to probiotics. I eat yogurt. And I said, okay, well, what kind of yogurt do you eat? Well, I eat Activia. I used to eat Activia all the time. Some of you may eat it every day too. Why? Because they have that marketing, right? That's on TV that says it has the good bacteria. Like this is the digestion yogurt. But if you take a look at what's in it, which Denise is going to talk to you a little bit later about more things that we're eating that cause more inflammation within our bodies, which cause inflammation within our gut as well. It's very high in sugar. And not only that, but it doesn't have the natural occurring probiotics in it that yogurt actually has. They actually strip all that out and then put other specific strains of bacteria in there. So do not let marketing fool you. Just like when it comes to anything else, it should not be this difficult. However, what I recommend when it comes to yogurt, do a full fat yogurt, okay? That is plain.
Yep.
The reason being, if you take a look at the sugar content in like a strawberry yogurt, for instance, you're going to have almost 30 grams of sugar in that.
Even vanilla, vanilla yogurt.
It's wild. So you can do some other things. And some of you might be like, oh, but that tastes not good. And that's where I was in the beginning too. But now what we do, we just add berries to it. You can add some, some sprouted granola to it. You could even add a tiny bit of honey, like raw local honey to it. But the whole milk, plain yogurt. Yeah. And Eve said she and essential oils, fruit, and granola. So I just want to go back there. Yeah. But we do that in our family every morning. We also do kombucha. We do about 2 ounces. That's all that we do, mixed with our Ningxia, which is a prebiotic that Denise is going to talk about in a minute. And then we still take a probiotic at night as well, just because I know with myself suffering from anxiety, with my son having other immune issues and upper respiratory needs, we're still not getting enough of that probiotic rich food. That's what we do. And like Denise said, you do that every night. I know I was always taking my probiotic first thing in the morning with the rest of my supplements. And then I would go and have my breakfast or do it right after breakfast time. You should be taking it right before bedtime so that it has a chance to do its magic in your gut. Which means you're not piling things on top of it, and it has a chance to, set up shop in your colon and in your stomach, and it has a chance to duplicate, to replicate, because the idea is that you're putting this bacteria in that then it can live, then it can replicate, and then it pushes the bad bacteria out. So Denise, I just wanted to mention those because those were great things that you mentioned in there too.
Yeah. And the thing too is, like I said, when you take it and your stomach isn't pretty empty, those acids in your stomach, when you eat it, acids like break down your food. So the probiotic needs to get down into the small intestine. That's where the magic happens. So it's going to take during the night for that to happen. So like before you go to bed, just take your probiotic. So the prebiotic, it feeds the probiotic. So it helps multiply. It gives it it's like a fertilizer. It gives the good guys a chance to grow. It helps them to grow in our body throughout the day. So a prebiotic you can get it from food, real food, okay? So a good source of a prebiotic is wolfberries, garlic, onions, asparagus, bananas, things like that. Ningxia, which I'm drinking, and this is our red drink. This is a prebiotic. So drinking that in the morning is just a great source to, you know, really give your body that fertilizer it needs for your probiotic. The other thing I like to use is sulfurzyme. I make my drink I drink this, I put sulfurzyme in it, some lime, a little bit of kombucha, and the sulfurzyme is a prebiotic. They have tablets too. The tablets aren't a prebiotic, but the powder is, and it has a nice taste to it. I just put a little bit in my drink every day, and that gives you a prebiotic as well. So, so that's, you know, that's the importance of prebiotics, but nobody really talks about prebiotics. So it's important to remember that the prebiotic is very, very important as part of that, helping the probiotics grow and really take over that flora of your intestine, because that's just so important. That whole thing, it all works together.
And our kids version, Mighty Pro, which is
Right.
I give to my son.
Right.
Yep. And I give it to him every single day. That has prebiotic and probiotic. And I know that there are some adults out there, some of you may be on this call, who take that as well. They take that instead of the Life 9 just because it tastes really good. Not that the Life 9 tastes bad, but it's just a capsule that you swallow. But the Mighty Pro has a prebiotic and a probiotic in one, comes in the little packet that Denise has, tastes like candy. So my son, he absolutely loves them. So that's another option as well.
Yeah, and this has what does it say? 8 million, this is 8 billion active strain, okay? Where the Life 9 has 9 billion active strains. So it has a little bit less, but this is nice, like Sarah's on vacation. If you don't want to take your probiotic out of the refrigerator if you're on vacation, because when it gets to room temperature and up, it starts killing the bacteria. So what you want to do is take these along. So these are great to have, and they taste like pixie sticks. They really do. It's crazy. They have wolfberry in, and they're really yummy. So they're good to have for on the go, especially.
Awesome. Thank you, Denise.
Yep. So that's the story of pro and prebiotics.
Okay. So we're going to kind of rewind a little bit. So we're giving you six steps to help with your gut and your brain connection. But let's go back and let's ask ourselves a question. How do you know that you would even, I don't know, get value out of this evening? Okay. How do you know that you need to heal your gut? I'm going to give you some things that you may be feeling, some ways that you may be feeling. And this will be kind of like red flags or triggers, or just kind of like, you know, those search engine lights going on that perhaps you need some gut healing. Do you have digestive trouble? That could be any sort of digestive trouble. Do you have stomach aches regularly? Do you have weight changes where your weight fluctuates? Where you can't maintain a healthy weight? Are you constantly fatigued or tired? Do you have skin issues? Denise was discussing about eczema earlier. Other skin issues as well, adult acne. Do you have emotional issues? This could be any sort of, I didn't even want to call it emotional issues because I'm like, issues? I don't know. I know that I definitely need more support with my emotions. And do you have food intolerances? Any of those, check engine lights, okay? If you do, then perhaps you need to kind of pay more attention to your gut. And by paying attention to your gut, you're going to see the most benefit for your health. Now, in the comments, as I'm speaking in the chat, would you please just let me know, like, why did you come tonight? When I was trying to think of a way to get people to come and to listen, but what resonated with you? What caught your eye? Because when I said, healthy gut, healthy brain, I'm like, I don't know if anyone's going to find this interesting. So let me know, because some of you did, a lot of you did. So let us know, what are you looking forward to learning this evening? And I'm going to talk about step number 2 as you do that, which is going to be increasing your water intake. Okay? Increasing your water intake is so important to life, so important to your gut health, okay? So important to your digestion. So we have got to talk about this. Now, when we talk about increasing your water intake, the ideal, and there's many schools of thought about this, okay? One of two would be, one school of thought is 8 by 8, 8 ounces of water, eight 8-ounce glasses of water a day, which would be about 64 ounces. What I go by is half your body weight in ounces of water a day. Okay. And that is where I'm at. That's my recommendation. That's what I recommend when Denise and I, when we guide people through the cleanse that we do. But that isn't a daily rule of thumb, especially now in the summertime when you are in the heat, when you're, even if you're just walking to your car, that can be a lot more strenuous than what you're used to. But I don't know about you, but the heat, especially for my anxiety, I notice that it's a trigger for me too. If I start to feel overheated, then I start to feel a lot more anxious. This happened tonight when I was at dinner. So I go to my water because it helps to also regulate my body temperature. When your body temperature is regulated, okay, your body can go further into rest. In addition, your digestive system can do what it needs to do. So half your body weight in ounces of water a day, not only does it help with your digestion tremendously, it's going to help with your skin. It's going to help to get, toxins out of your system. It is going to help also to lubricate your joints. So those of you who are out there who have chronic joint aches, chronic inflammation within your muscles, your bones, water is going to be one of your best friends, along with the things that Denise had mentioned before with the prebiotics and probiotics. It may seem as though many times things are treated in an isolated format, but our bodies are totally connected, ladies and gentlemen. Our mind, our mental health is connected to our gut health, but those joints, by drinking a simple thing like drinking water, is going to help our bodies in very powerful ways. And this is something that all of you can get off this call and go drink some water right away. There are going to be some oils. I'll talk about some oils that you can put into your water that can really be beneficial with the detox process. And then there's some others that are really beneficial when it comes to digestion, because I'm not going to go through all the comments right now. We'll talk about those in just a minute, but I see a lot of digestion questions in here, along with obviously, some stress questions too. But oils like lemon, like peppermint, like digize, spearmint, okay? Those are all going to be great for your digestion. If you just put a drop into your water routinely, the more that you put oils into your water, and I'm not talking about quantity, I'm just talking about frequency here. The more frequently that you go and you reach for them, it's going to really make a difference with the detox sensation on your body. In addition, oils like copaiba, okay, are going to be amazing for inflammation, in addition to your digestion as well. Grapefruit is a perfect oil for the summertime. That's a wonderful one to help with your healthy weight, to help with satiety in between meals, to help with cravings as well. And I see a lot of questions on here about acid reflux, about, with that stuff. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I cannot treat you, diagnose you, or cure you, but I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a testimony, okay? I have a dear friend who was just on medication that was recently recalled. Did you all see that? For acid reflux? Yeah, the acid reflux medication that was just recalled, like really, really recalled because it's supposed to cause cancer. So that was recalled, and she messaged me and she said, Sarah, I don't know what to do here. I've been on this medicine. I'm so afraid now I have to get off of it. She was thinking about continuing to like take it until she figured something else out. I said, girl, if it's gotten to the point that it is officially recalled, it's gone too far, like way too far. That means so many things had to happen for that in order to occur, because they don't test these things for safety. I said, I have a dear friend who every single morning when she wakes up in the morning, she puts lemon into her water and she drinks a tall glass of water with lemon oil in it. Every single morning, first thing she does before she gets out of bed. And she has never, ever felt as comfortable when it comes to her experiencing reflux ever. And that is something simple that you can do and give it a try, in addition to obviously some probiotics, some other gut health. But lemon in water first thing in the morning before you have anything else in your tummy is supposed to help wonders for that as well. And it does a great job. Like the more water that you drink, the more detox of your liver, of your intestines. Okay. And I'm not talking about a detox that is going to have you running to the bathroom. I'm just talking about normal function of your bowels, normal function of your urinary system as well. So increase that water intake. And I think that you are going to see amazing things happen. And there's lots of different ways that you can help monitor that. There are apps on your phone, if that's, who you are. There are little stickers that you can put on your water bottle, and you can fill it in with a little marker. What I like to do is kind of silly, but I put rubber bands on my water bottles, depending on how many times I have to fill them throughout the day. And every time I fill it, I take a rubber band off and I put it onto my wrist. That way, even when I don't have because I'm not walking around all day with my water bottle, I will look at the rubber band, and that will serve as a reminder to go drink water. And by the time that all my rubber bands are off of my bottle and onto my wrist, I know that I drank my daily allotment. So that's what works for me. Lots and lots of great, I hear lots of stories here. Digest being an amazing oil for digestion. Oh my goodness, so many things going on here. And I hope that we are able to really talk to all of you this evening and speak to all of you with something that will be able to benefit you. But that's my little tip. So number 1 was prebiotic, probiotic. Number 2 is increase your water intake. And number 3 is going to be back to Denise, and she's going to talk about reducing inflammation.
I just want to add one thing about the lemon. A lot of people put fresh lemon in their water, which is fine. But why the lemon oil is so beneficial is that you don't get any of the acid, and it's organic, Young Living essential oil. So, and how many of us have looked in our refrigerator and we see the mold all over the lemon? So it's not wasteful. You're not going and spending a lot of money for lemons and then they get rot in your refrigerator. But it's the acid that really is beneficial, because you do get a lot of acid when you squeeze lemon juice in your water. So inflammation, we know our body, it's something that helps our body, but if we have too much inflammation, this causes a lot of different issues. There's things that really, really can escalate inflammation in our body. Processed foods are a really big one. So what we want to do is be more intentional about our diet and eat more actual food, because our bodies don't know what to do with these processed things. They know what to do with food. That's how it was created. So it knows how to take the nutrients out of food. So that's a big culprit. Sugar is one too. We want to stay away from. It's very toxic to the body and causes inflammation. Red meat, Milk is also can trigger for a lot of people inflammation. So I basically don't drink any milk anymore. I drink almond and coconut milk if I do need that for anything in my cereal or anything. And of course, our stress level. So Sarah's going to talk about then after this about our stress level. So one of the things that we suggest is switching to einkorn flour. This is the pancake and waffle mix. They also have regular flour. So what's great about this is that over processed food, a flour especially, it's very, very hard to digest. And so einkorn is low in the glycemic level. It only has 14 chromosomes as opposed to 42. So it's an ancient grain. So we want to go with ancient grains, or maybe spelt is another option too. So we want to try to stay away from the white things, the white sugar, the white flour, that type of thing. We can also do an elimination diet. So if we're not sure, we can eliminate certain foods that we think might be triggering inflammation in our body. We write them down, we take a diary, we don't eat that food, we see how we feel, we write down how we feel. And then if it's, not that, we can try something else, and we can do that type of thing. So inflammation, yes, is definitely something we want to avoid, of having that overabundance of inflammation in our body, that our body can't handle it or can't bring it back to balance, homeostasis. CBD can help with that, but again, a lot we want to do is really be proactive with our health and eliminate those bad foods that can cause us to have some of these issues.
Thank you, Denise.
Mm-hmm.
And she talked about, the processed foods. Obviously, the more whole foods that we can eat, the better health we're going to have. The reason being is that the more control we have over the foods that are going into our body. So I'm going to talk to you about stress. I'm going to talk about stress levels. And I'm going to talk to you about something that I actually did today. I wasn't going to talk to you about it, but I'm going to talk to you about it anyway. So what I'm going to discuss with you is the tip that I'm going to give you is to decrease stress levels. And some of you are under your breath, like saying obscenities to me, or maybe not even under your breath because you're muted. So you could just be like straight out letting them rip at me right now, because you're like, yeah, okay. Decrease stress levels. All right, girl. Easier said than done, right? Easier said than done. Yeah, especially when you're feeling really stressed out. You're like, that's the last thing that you want to hear. That and calm down, right? Am I right? I'm right. Yes, I don't want to hear those things. So what we are going to talk about, I'm going to give you some techniques. I'm actually going to share something with you that I did today, because sometimes my anxiety creeps in on me when seemingly I should be very relaxed. Like if I were to take a look at my environment, if I were to take a look at what's around me, I use that word loosely, but I would not be thinking that I would be very anxious at the moment. And I love it because sometimes I'll confide in my husband. I'll say, oh my gosh, I just feel so anxious right now. And he still says to me, well, why do you think you feel so anxious right now? Like, you know what? I know. But for me, I've come to notice that it almost happens when I am at a point of rest, like right before my body can actually go into a state of rest. My anxiety starts to skyrocket. And I think it's just because all day long, my body was going in this fight or flight response. Like those of us who struggle with anxiety feel that they just have to kind of keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And then you finally stop and your body goes, wait a second, you're not going anymore. And then all of these nervous emotions or anxious emotions come up. So there are a couple of things that have really helped me. And I talk a lot about this on my personal Facebook page too. I'm just going to write my full name. If we're not friends, you're welcome to friend me. And if not, that's okay too. But I talk a lot about it. I talk about it weekly, and I don't know, something just kind of told me to talk about my anxiety in a public format. So that's what I do as well. So some things that have helped me are breathing, all different types of breathing exercises. And I am actually going to have all of you try one with me this evening that I did today, when I was watching, and I'm on vacation right now. So I'm like, vacation is relaxing, right, guys? Like, it is the most relaxing thing ever. And I don't know if any of you have little ones, but when you go on vacation with little ones, it's not really relaxing. Like, it's kind of exhausting because you're in a new place. There are new things that you have concerns with, or at least me, I'll speak for myself. I am worried about other things. I'm worried about the unknown. I'm worried if, my child is going to go up and hug the waitress like he did at dinner tonight. I'm worried that he's going to lick the table like he did tonight because somebody spilled water on the table. I'm worried about all sorts of other things too. And just kind of going through the safety measures of the day as well. So I was on the beach. My husband went out with my son and with my mom, and they were all snorkeling, and I was just standing and I was watching them, and I'm in the middle of the ocean and I'm just watching them, and I'm loving watching them. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, like I could feel my anxiety like creeping in, and I'm looking around. I'm like, stop. Why are you anxious right now? Like, look around you. This is perfect. This is serene. This is the epitome of not being anxious. Like, this is relaxation. And I pulled out a technique. I pulled out 2 techniques that have helped me, and I'm going to share them with you. So you can picture me by myself doing this, standing in the water with all these people around me. And I didn't even care. I was like, I'm here, and I'm going to soothe myself right now. I'm going to help myself. So there are 2 things. And some of you may have heard me share these before, but I feel as though they never get old. So some of us who suffer with anxiety also feel the need to kind of like touch something a lot or do some self-soothing things. So one thing that has really helped me is if you take your hands, everybody just kind of show me your hands, and you can do a technique to help to calm your parasympathetic nervous system. Now, your parasympathetic nervous system, when that can be calm, that's when everything can kind of heal within your body, and it's amazing. So this is something that you can do anywhere. You don't have to do it publicly, on a Zoom like this. You can do this when you're at a dinner if you're feeling a little anxious. At bedtime, you can teach your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews this technique as well. And you're going to take your thumb to your pointer finger, to your middle finger, to your ring finger, to your pinky. Okay, so we're all getting that motion down, right? This involves a mudra, which is a movement, and a mantra, which is just words. And what has helped me is doing this. So you can say it out loud. Peace begins with me. We're going to do this for about 30 seconds. Are you ready? Peace begins with me. 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 Okay, put your hands down. And then just kind of breathe a little bit. It helps because when you're saying the words and doing the movement, it's really hard to think about like what you have to make for dinner. It's really hard to think about, what you didn't get done that day, what you have to do tomorrow. It's a great way to kind of occupy, but also, like I said, to help to calm your parasympathetic nervous system. And the second thing that I did today, because I was doing that and I'm like, okay, all right, I'm doing this, feeling good. All right, okay. And then I stopped and I'm like, all right, I feel good. And then all of a sudden it started creeping up again. So I pulled out my second technique that you can do anywhere. And this is just literally, it's like a chant. So it's a nice deep breath. and it is one sound, and it's called the VOO chant. Have any of you ever done this before? VOO chant? Some of you, I have like one or two who are like, yeah, and some of you are like, what is even going on here? All right, so this is something that really helps me as well, and it's just a deep breathing technique. And you typically do this for about 1 minute's time. So I would love if you would do it with me, and really do it with me, guys, because I want you to feel relaxed when you get off of here. And it's just going to be, I'm going to model it for you quick, and then I'm going to set a timer for 1 minute. Okay, so what it involves is a deep breath in so that your belly comes out and expands. Hold for about 3 seconds, and then you're going to exhale and do this sound. You're going to get to the end. You're going to hold that exhale for about 3 seconds. Then you're going to breathe back in. Then you're going to exhale and do the Okay, ready to start? Everybody, breathe in. Let's do it. One minute is up. Take a moment to just kind of feel. Do you feel that little vibrational feeling in your body? Does anybody feel that? Like that nice little calm? Okay. That's another way, no matter where you are. I literally did that out loud in front of people today. I closed my eyes with a big old floppy hat over me and just didn't even care. And I felt so much better. But I think I did that for 15 minutes straight. But all you need is about a minute, and it can help to calm you. So which one did you prefer? Did you prefer the Peace Begins Within Me?
I like that one.
Or the VOO chant? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. I just want to know. And then there's a couple other things that you can do too. When it comes to meditation, I love to meditate. I think that it's very helpful, very, very helpful practice. I use Insight Timer as a free meditation app that I love. And I just started listening to bilateral music, which is incredible. You can listen to it at any time when it's like a wind down time. You can listen to it when you journal. And you can find bilateral music. You can find that on Amazon. You can find that on YouTube. You can find that on basically anything, Spotify. And what it does is it hits both the right side and the left side of your brain with different chords that it plays. It sounds very relaxing, but it helps to kind of put your brain into a more accepting mindset. And it also allows you to kind of deal better with life. So I really recommend that you take a look at a bilateral music playlist. You can listen to it for bedtime, first thing in the morning, meditation, journal time, anything like that. So those are things that I thought that are really helpful for me, and I hope that they're really helpful for you. I love that you're calling them the peace fingers. That is amazing. I love that. And yeah, I need both of them too. So you can pull those out as tools whenever you need them. And like I said, even if you have young ones, my son does this one when I remind him, but he really loves that too. So Denise is going to talk to you about a schedule and how a schedule can also help you. And then I am going to And the conversation tonight was talking to you about dirt. So go ahead, Denise.
So, yes, scheduling is very important. And what I mean by that is reminders for you to take care of yourself. Like Sarah said in the beginning, it's very easy to forget to take your probiotic, and you're in bed and you're like, oh, I didn't take my probiotic. And you're going to go downstairs, or you're going to go down the hall and you're going to get it. No, because it's in the refrigerator. And you're like, I'm too tired. I'm not getting up to get my probiotics. So until it becomes a routine, a habit, set reminders so that you make sure you get that probiotic every night, because consistency, regularity, that's the key. That's where you're going to see the benefits. If you do this all sporadically, you're going to be wasting your money, because you're going to be taking these probiotics, but they're not really going to help you because you're taking them once a week or whatever. So you need to really take it the way it's prescribed. You know, when you get your bottle, how to take it, 1 or 2. I just take 1 a night. The other thing is the Ningxia. I don't know who is drinking Ningxia, who isn't, but Ningxia is a super source of a prebiotic, but it's a supplement in a drink, and you need 2 ounces of it. And we're going to be doing this Ningxia challenge, which is very exciting, and we're going to see a lot of benefits from it. So I'd say if you're not drinking Ningxia, drink it, get it and drink it for a few months and see how different you feel. And if you're not sure, stop drinking it. And then believe me, you will notice the difference. Wow, I really was feeling better on my Ningxia. So stick to a schedule and do what you need to do to help yourself. Set a reminder on your phone, whatever you need to do. What your the good morning routine, a good bedtime routine, all the different oils I use at night is part of my routine. So I take my CBD, I take my probiotic, I put my calm roller on, I go back to my bedroom, I put my cypress on my abdomen to help me not have to get up to the bathroom more than once a night. It works wonders. I take Aroma Life. I put that on my neck and my heart for a healthy blood pressure support. I put Thieves on my spine and on the bottom of my feet, and then my nighttime roller, which is vetiver, cedar wood, and rutavala, and that really helps me with my good night's sleep. And then, of course, I'm diffusing as well. Right now, I'm diffusing for my husband mostly. I do lemon, peppermint, and lavender right now at night. Sometimes I'll switch it up and put a eucalyptus in, because it really helps with breathing, and that's what he struggles with. So, but it's got the lavender in there, which helps with sleep, and it's just, so I've got that diffuser going all night long. It's still going on in the morning. So a routine, a really good morning routine, and a good, like, first thing in the morning, I put frankincense and copaiba on my brainstem, put all my diffuser on, and then I do my Bible reading and my morning routine that I do to get my day started in a good frame of mind and really positive frame of mind. So routines really help us to have order in our life. It helps us to start our day out really, really well, and helps us to end our day really, really well. And that's really important. The start of our day is huge. How we start our day. You know how they always say getting on the wrong side of the bed? It's just so helpful to have a good morning routine. And then for your sleep is where your body can recover. It can heal. So good night's sleep is so important. Yes, cypress. Cypress is what I use on my abdomen. I have a roller. I roll it on my abdomen, and it really has helped me, support me. I was getting up every 2 hours to go to the bathroom after I went through the change. And ever since then, since the very first night, I get up once during the night, and that is it. So it's huge with my sleep.
Yeah, and that's also great for potty training too, for young mamas, or
Mhm.
for, mamas who have little ones who are having trouble getting through the night and still having accidents too. Thank you, Denise. Those are all
Mhm.
great. Yeah, and a schedule is so important. It also, with a schedule, it helps your body to tap into its own circadian rhythm. And your circadian rhythms are just how um, we are meant as human beings to kind of do certain things at different times of the day to work with your circadian rhythm. So to work with the sunlight, like as the sun rises, when the sun is highest in the day, when the sun starts to set. It's really interesting if you look into circadian rhythms. I've done a lot with this and my husband's business to kind of see how we can mimic those circadian lights, that lighting to happen in people's homes to kind of help with mental health as well as routine. But like in the morning time, if your blinds are open, then when the sun is rising, you're going to kind of wake more gently in the morning time. And things like when your bowel movements, like you will have more regular bowels if you kind of go to bed at the same kind of time each night. You wake up at about the same time each day. You have your meals at about the same time. You kind of get into that rhythm or get into that daily rhythm or that daily flow. Things become more predictable. And that also helps people, that helps most people, almost all people, feel more at ease when there's a certain predictability about life, which can be why right now, with the way that life is, with more uncertainty than typical, that many of us are feeling a lot more stress and a lot more anxiety too. So I urge you just to try to take not control, but try to, have a healthy schedule no matter where you are, so that it's more predictability for your body and then also for your mind and for your soul as well. And last but not least, I'm going to talk to you about dirt, and then we're going to bid you adieu. So last one is get out and play in the dirt. Okay. In the dirt, in the sand, in the rocks, in the forest, go. Like there are countries, literally Japan, doctors will prescribe you to go foresting. Have you heard this? You guys heard about this? Yeah, like go out and go to a freaking forest and put your feet in the dirt and feel the sun on your face and go over and like feel the stream and feel the rocks, feel all of the things. Not only is it amazing for your mental health for a lot of reasons, but vitamin D is great to get it from the sunshine. Many people don't get enough of it, so they do supplementation. We have a brand new vitamin D whole food supplement. I am outside all of the time. Like our neighbors, I don't know. They will always see us outside, so they never have any privacy, but that's okay. That's okay too. Yeah, it can be called grounding. Absolutely, Sue. Can be called grounding, but the point is just get outside. How many of you have gardens? Anybody have a garden up in here? Let me know. What do you love to grow? Anything. I don't even care. What do you like to kill? Let me know what you put in that thing. Let me know what you have in your garden, what is growing out there, because these are things that bring us joy. They may seem insignificant, but think about a day. I had my husband's assistant. I was out in the garden all day long one day when I was like just getting it prepped, like early springtime. Okay. And I heard him and her talking when I came in after I'd been working out there for probably 6-7 hours out there all day long. Stopped to eat a little bit. I was with my little guy. We just all day long, all we did was dig and plant and dig and plant and weed and all the things. And it was hard work. And I came in and they were both talking. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And I said, we have not seen you this happy in a long time. And that was like a moment that I don't even think that he knows or she knows affected me as much as it did. But I was like, holy cow, I think I was inside for a while. Like, I think I was inside for a while because this is like March that this happened. And get outside. So whether it is in your garden or whether it is outside in nature, and don't be afraid to walk around barefoot every day. Like, even if you're like, okay, well, I work and I can't do that and whatever. No, you come home and you take your shoes off and go traipse around in your yard. And you may say, oh, well, I don't have like this big old yard or whatever. Then go outside and find a clump of grass, plant a clump of grass. I don't know what to tell you. Your flowers and just start to like put them around a little bit. Like don't use the excuses. Like put this down with a big old star, because right now the weather is right. Like I have been taking my son to all of these creeks because I don't know, he's a boy and he loves to swim, and it just makes you feel so much better. And it kind of freaks me out, just to be honest. Like I was not a big fisher person or a crayfish. I don't know. I grew up in the city, so I don't know any of those things, but I'm learning all of them and I'm going outside of my comfort zone. And what I'm finding out is that my sensory input has been incredible. Like for anyone who has any sort of sensory needs, there's research that shows you that walking barefoot can help to calm someone with sensory needs so much. Like I've looked at this in depth for my son, and I never knew, but we have like a sensory garden in our backyard. I didn't plan it. I didn't even know that we had it until I was looking up things like that. And we have all these different types of smooth river stone, basically, all along the backyard. And then we have dirt, and then we have grass. We have a whole lot of weeds too. Don't be going around in my backyard. We got a lot of those. But we have all these different textures. We have water just because we have our hose going. We have the baby pool right now. And all of those different textures, for someone to be able to walk from surface to surface to surface like that, and also be in the dirt and in the grass, that is great for sensory input, which is going to be great for your regulation of your body. So if you're feeling too up, it helps to make you feel a little bit more relaxed. If you're feeling way tired, it's going to help to kind of bring your energy levels up. It's going to help to bring your body back to homeostasis or rest, which is what we've been talking about this evening. In addition, dirt, grass, sand, those creeks, rivers, whatever, that is all going to also help the microbiome on your skin.
We go by the water, the
So
creeks.
that is going to help you tremendously.
Yeah, I actually was saying, I'm
Like
not going to do anything today, not even go to a hike or creek.
So that is going to help you tremendously. That is going to help the microbiome. So actually the good bacteria that is all along your skin, it's going to help it to grow. It's going to help it to further develop, which is going to help your immune system. It's going to help your gut function. And this is all by the hygiene hypothesis. If this interests you, search that hygiene hypothesis. It is really interesting what you can see, which just basically tells you we're supposed to get dirty. You know, many of us are not farmers anymore. Many of us have gardens, right? But we're not working the farm all day long. So we're missing out on a ton of good bacteria that we would naturally be around and in all day long, okay? And it's the truth. And if you take a look at a lot of individuals who grew up on farms or in more rural areas, there's less instance of food allergies. There's less instances of autoimmune disorders, like less instances of a lot of the things that we see today growing up in suburban and urban atmospheres. So get out in the dirt, go swim in a creek. I know, I'm like, oh, I do this all the time. I'm still like, oh, it freaks me out, but just go do it. Get over it. You can wear river shoes if you want, but I'm telling you, the real deal is like putting your feet in that water, feeling the stuff squished in between your toes. It freaks me out. I know. I don't know. Some of you might be like, yes, that's where I'm home. Not me. I like to see everything that I'm stepping in, but just go and do it. Okay. So let's just recap what we talked about this evening. 1, prebiotic and probiotic. Best from food. Fermented foods are king. However, you can also supplement with good high quality whole food supplementation. Number 2, increase your water intake. You can add oils to that as well, but basically water is just the best beverage for you. And the more water you get in, the more toxins you're going to push out. Step 3 was reducing inflammation by decreasing processed foods, sugars, red meats, and Denise gave you a lot of different alternatives that you can use. And then step 4 was decreasing stress. The peace fingers, Vu chant, meditation, breathing, bilateral music, exercise, of course, okay? Stick to a schedule was number 5. The more regular your schedule is, the more predictable your schedule is, the easier you're going to feel, both mentally and also digestive wise. And step 6 was get out and play in the dirt, in the grass, in the sun, and that's every single day. Non-negotiable. Get out there. These are things that all of you can do. What is one thing that you are going to try first? Comment in the chat thread, and I am going to put up a little Google link for if you would all please give us a little bit of feedback on the workshop this evening. Let us know what you loved most. We will be gifting a healthy gut pack to one of you. So I just put it in the chat thread now. You can copy it and paste it. You might be able to click it. It looks like a hyperlink today. Sometimes you can click it, sometimes you cannot. And let me know, what is your takeaway from this evening? More water, more water, more water. I love it. Oh, the 2 anxiety tips. I know I am seriously using those all the time. And I'll let you know what we're going to be talking about next week, because we do these calls every single Monday evening. And next week, it's going to be all about limiting beliefs. And this is, we're going to dive a little deep on how to discover your limiting beliefs, and also techniques on how to start to kind of chip away at them so that you can just live a more joy-filled life. And also, if you feel as though you are stuck in one realm or more of your life, then come join us. And we are going to dig deep, really, really deep, to again identify limiting beliefs that may be deep-seated from childhood, and how to kind of start to conquer those beliefs so that we can move on and we can push past those boundaries that we set for ourselves at this point. But our goal is just to inspire you and to help to educate you. And I love so many of you are just talking about peace fingers, dirt, and anxiety tips, and water, and all of these things, what you're eating.
Better schedule.
Yes, I love it. More water, more water, more water. You are in control, my friends. So just write it down, put it on a sticky note, and just plaster it places where you're looking at it. You could put peace fingers just like all over your house, and anybody you live with is going to be like, what is happening here? And you can just kind of do the thing when you're making breakfast in the morning time, when you're, at any time. I just use something that we taught you tonight. I'm going to go and drink even more water because I still feel like I haven't had enough. But I hope that you enjoyed this evening. Denise, thank you.
You're welcome.
Always.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Yep. And fill out that form.
Enjoyed it so much.
For a chance to win a healthy gut pack. You want to know what that is. And then join us next week. I will include a link for the call in our existing group. I'll also have an event up on Facebook as well, and I'll pop it into the previous events that you can see that too. But it's going to be identifying and conquering limiting beliefs. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye. Good night.